Good day, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying our winter weather. These snowbanks remind me of the snowbanks of my youth growing up in Syracuse. I've been thinking a lot lately about wisdom, living in a time when there doesn't seem to be a great deal of it around. The world seems to be bereft of wise people. And I keep pondering to why that is. And I gained some insight from Nicholas Carr in his book entitled The Shallows, What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains. And Nicholas Carr gives us a perspective on this lack of wisdom, and he blames some of it on the internet. He calls the internet a technology of forgetfulness. And he describes how, thanks to the plasticity of our neural pathways, our brains are literally being rewired by digital distraction. I find it interesting that he tells us that the more we use the web, the more we train our brain to be distracted, to process information very quickly and very efficiently, but without sustained attention. Very important, sustained attention. And that results in so many people finding it so hard to concentrate, even when we're away from our computers. That he tells us that our brains become adept at forgetting, inept at remembering. And he points out that it's very interesting. On our computers each day, he says, we actually read a novel's worth of words. But it's not the sort of continuous, sustained, concentrating reading conducive to reflective thinking. Now, Marianne Wolf is in charge of the dyslexia unit at UCLA, and she says that the internet or the web, there's neither the time for the impetus for the nurturing of a quiet eye, much less the memory of its harvests. The nurturing of a quiet eye. We all need that to be people of wisdom. But we rapidly go from Hulu to Spotify to Netflix to Prime to Facebook to emails to friends' blog posts. And Carr writes that all this works against wisdom in the moment. It eliminates any time for reflection or synthesis before we go on to the next blog or whatever it might be. But he also says it works against wisdom in the long term, because as brain research is showing, our overstimulated brains are becoming weaker, less critical, more gullible, at a time in history when we need to be sharper than ever. Way too many gullible people out there. So you might ask, what's wisdom? Well, wisdom is not about getting to answers as fast as possible. It's more often about the journey, the bigger picture, the questions and complications along the way. There's a great value in a slower intake of information with time for meditation and retention. The world, the church, society, our nation, we're in desperate need of wisdom. We're challenged in so many ways. We need wise people, willing to slow down in gathering information in order to have the time to reflect and analyze and find truth. Wisdom teacher Cynthia Bourgeault puts it this way. She says, wisdom is not knowing more, but knowing with more of you, knowing deeper. And to do this, we need to contemplate, reflect, analyze, slow down, meditate. We need to slow down our overstimulated brains, which are becoming weaker, less critical, and more gullible. We have to stop believing everything we read on the internet and everything we hear on the TV talk shows. if we're going to make a better world, we need to analyze these things, think about these things, reflect upon these things. That's what wisdom is all about. So that we can make choices that will benefit not just a few, but benefit the common good. The writer Christopher Promet writes, when Jesus of Nazareth prefaced his enigmatic sayings with the words, "Let those with eyes to see, see. Let those with ears to hear, hear." And he goes on to say, scholars tell us that Jesus was speaking as a teacher of Jewish wisdom, appealing not just to the head, but to the whole person of his listener, to the heart, to the body, to the mind, to the senses, to the imagination. We're all called to be a people of wisdom. Unfortunately, there's little of it in the world today, and some of it's because of our busyness and that we're taking in way too much information and believing too much of it without stopping to reflect and think and analyze in order to make good decisions and find what the truth is. As the Lenten season approaches in a few weeks, perhaps this is something we can think about during the Lenten season. Slowing down, not taking in so much information, and the information that we take in from good sources, and reflect on it and question it and analyze it. Have a good day, have a good week, everyone.